All right. For today's travel meeting, we're going to learn about time management. Running any kind of business, obviously, there are some trials and things that we have to go through. So, we need to learn about balancing travel and life. I think I have a pretty good handle on this. We've got a lot going on, a lot of kids, a lot of sports. So, I'm just letting a couple people we're in. Okay. All right. So, and y'all bear with me to make sure this works. Okay, so balancing. Balancing can be tricky, but with the right tools and strategies, it can be done. Um, so if y'all have a pen and paper, we're gonna kind of go through a few things about how to stay organized, and then a few things I'm gonna show you my notebook that I use, some things I keep in it, and also a couple of vendor tools and stuff that you can order yourself to use. Okay, so boundaries. I find that if I don't set
Or they
myself
still
a
want
certain
them
amount of
like on the same desk? Should I
hours,
be looking at that, or does it really
hold on,
not matter at this
somebody's got to
point?
Well,
mute
I think
them. Okay, so if I don't set certain boundaries every day or make kind of a game plan for the week, it's really hard for me to stay on task. So you want to set some work hours. It can look different for anyone depending on your life and things you've got going on, even week to week or even day to day. But you want to set certain hours every day, week to work your business. That can be getting up an hour early, that can be evening time. Remember, it's your own business, so you can work it how you want, but you do need to make time for it, and however that looks for you. Also, to kind of balance that, you want to set offline time. So if you don't set offline time, you're going to find yourself really burnt out. So you need to balance your time when you're accessible to clients and family, friends, everything you need to kind of balance. Um, so make sure that you're giving your business some undivided attention as well as your family some undivided attention. And y'all can screenshot as you go through too if you kind of want to keep a hold of it. Prioritizing tasks. This has been a big help for me to make those certain work times. If I make an hour in the morning and I have a certain amount of time that I need to get things done in, this really helps. So, the first thing is just don't be overwhelmed with the amount of tasks that you have to do for the day. Some days may be a little bit heavier than others. So, what I do is I categorize things by importance. Basically, you're going to categorize by urgent, which needs to be done first. These are things that have to be done completely at the beginning of your day, basically, as if it's like your beginning of your work shift. Important, those are things that need to be done today, but they're not something that I have to do right away. And then basically like a to-do list. So these are things that need to be done, but they don't necessarily have like a time frame that they have to be done in. You just want to get them done. I also prioritize my stuff versus daily tasks and weekly tasks. And on Impact Travel Facebook group, there is some things like daily tasks that you can use, adding friends to Facebook, adding to your group, making sure you're scheduling posts out. All those are there. Okay. Okay, so our favorite thing here within the leaders, your gold builders are going to be your AI, okay? This is artificial intelligence to do your posts for quotes. Um, so when I wake up in the morning and I have my allotted time that I need to get my work done in, I start by making my posts, okay? I go on Vax or I go on Expedia and I kind of look up a tentative quote. And then I go to AI, and this is actually a picture here on the screen of literally what I type in. That gives me a thing. So I said I need a Facebook post for a vacation package for 2 adults to Punta Cana on June 6th through 10th, 2025 for $2,800. And as you can see, it literally puts it all together for you. You just copy and paste it and put it in there. Add some great pictures. You can use picture apps like Unsplash. It's just basically pictures that anyone in the world can take of certain destinations or objects and stuff, and you can download those to your phone and add them to your post to give it a little extra. The app that I use is ChatGPT. And I think a lot of leaders in the business use this, but it's been the one that's been the most helpful for me. And kind of it like adds the emojis and everything, so it makes it really great. You don't even have to go in and add anything. Also with that, if it does a post for you and you need an adjustment, so say in that post I didn't put the deposit down. If I just put, can you please add deposit of $50, it's literally just going to add it to the post, and you can just copy and paste it. Another thing that I do is this, it's time blocking. So this right here is just an example, but basically what time blocking means is you're allocating a chunk of time to specific tasks. So I basically look at my calendar for the day, and I'm like, okay, we got softball in the evenings, or we have church, or I have to work 8 to 4:30, and I go through and I may basically take a 1 to 2 hour time frame and block it off. So for this one, 5 to 7 a.m. morning routine with the kids. You're getting them up, you're getting them dressed. They're struggling trying to get up out of bed, but basically this time is allotted for them. I'm making sure they have breakfast, lunch packs, and everything else. So then 7-Eleven, this could be stuff where you're going through your Facebook page, you're scheduling out your posts, you're following up with previous quotes, you're adding friends, inviting members to your Facebook page. And then like if you're stay-at-home mom, wife, maybe 11 to 3 you do some household chores. Okay, you're doing the stuff that you need to get done every day. 3 to 7 afternoon routine, kids are home, we're doing homework, preparing for dinner, getting the kids to practices. 7 to 8 we're getting everyone ready for bed. This is a bedtime routine. And then 8 to 10, this is where I'm going to go through, and if I've gotten any messages for the day, if I need to follow up with anyone, I'm going to do that. Also team Zooms, any partner educations. If you've noticed, a lot of the webinars in the back office are going to be usually like 8 o'clock start time. So that's where I allotted it for. But you can literally take this and kind of make it your own. But basically what you want to do is you want to allocate a time and then tasks that you want to get done in that time frame. Okay, so materials. This is very a vague description of what you need, but this is what I did when I got started. Was I made sure I at least had a notebook. This can be where you're going to take notes. This can be where you're going to hold your certificates. I have the IntelliTravel manual in here, a few credit card authorization forms in case I'm out and I need to get somebody. Vendor specific information. When I did the sandals training, like I would put stuff like that in there. Obviously pen and paper. So I'm going to show you mine. So this is my notebook. Okay, so in the notebook here, I have the IntelliTravel training manual, and basically I printed it out, but it's something I can reference all the time. In the front of this, I have my Facebook post sheets that I used when I first started, just to kind of, now that I've been in a while, I kind of know where I want to go as far as destinations and stuff, but those were things that I could look. So it has brand on there, Carnival. Some I would do Royal Caribbean, sometimes I would do Expedia, and then I would know to go to that, so that way I was showcasing on my posts a little bit of everything. Also in here, I put my certificates in here, so that way I have them. So if I meet with the client and they're kind of asking about knowledge and everything regarding something, I can, show them my certificate. But also in there is some extra paper in case I need to take notes, like on the training we do tonight. Let's see. I think that's it. Okay. All right, so that's done. So another thing that I wanted to show you was something that Lindsay Tidmore actually showed me when we did our in-person event last year in Tuscaloosa. So these are brochures that you can order. This one specifically is from Carnival. But in here you'll find a lot of information. You'll find the different, like this one is cruises that leave out of New York City. So I wanted to show you these because you can get them for free. But these are a way for you to have information. Not only can you go through and learn the information, especially if you're newer, but if a client wants to see certain things, you can go through and show them. Like this one, let's see. This just shows all the different ports, if you can see it. These are all the ports that Carnival goes out of in the United States. Like things like that are important. And I also got some for Viking. So I just thought these were really cool to have in case you wanted to have them on hand. A lot of people like to sit down with people that are closer to them, not so much the ones we find on our Facebook page, but like friends and family, and go over the different types of trips. This will also kind of help you with your posting too, to try to figure out which ones you want to post, which ones you think are interesting and that you might want to learn a bit more. So you do the post and you get educated on it. But other than that, one of the other things I wanted to talk about was automation processes, just to make sure that we are kind of making the most of our time. So AI, obviously, for your posts, scheduling out your posts, those are really important. To me, I try to do 2 to 3 quotes a day on my page. But that's totally up to you. You can post 10, you can post 1, that's totally up to you, but I try to get them scheduling out. That also allows us, if we have an issue where maybe our family member gets really sick, or we're having a last minute emergency, we don't have to worry about it. We've got posts scheduled out, like our business is continuing to be open while we are going through all this stuff. So I guess I'll open it up for questions. I didn't read the chat. Can y'all help me out with the chat? I really can't see it.
Yeah, I had just mentioned that I did love the Unsplash app. David talks about, is it Pixabay? So that might be something we can look up too. He said that's really good for some pictures.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
So we'll need to write that down. Let's see what else. And then, yeah, Nicole was talking about the pamphlets that you got. And I think everyone kind of answered that for her. But if you go to any of the vendor sites, a lot of times it might be under marketing materials and stuff.
Yes.
All of the vendors, they'll call it something different, but that is kind of an idea, at least, to know where you go once you log in to all of those sites.
Yes, I've pretty much seen them on a lot of the vendors that I've been on. Definitely all of the cruise lines have them. But I don't think like Expedia or anything, obviously they wouldn't have it, but these are mostly for like Carnival, Norwegian. I did get the ones from Viking, which are really cool. Like they even have like the cuisine and stuff that you would find. So I thought that was really neat. All right, let's see. So Christina said, it takes me forever to create a single post with a single quote. It's so hard for me to just make up something on a whim because I'm such a perfectionist and overthink it. Christina, advice for that would obviously be use like AI for one, because that's going to help you with a lot of it. But what you can do is, I forget who it was. I don't know if it was Julie, someone like last year when we did a Zoom, it was really cool. They basically printed out a calendar. And so at the beginning of the month, they would go and put on like the first, they would write Carnival, and on the second, they would write Disney, and the third, they would just write all the stuff out, or they would put like like all inclusive, and they would put the location, and then that way they kind of had a mapping of where they wanted to go with it. So that might be helpful for you too. And then once you get the quote up on Vax or Expedia or AA or Delta, wherever you want to go, you can literally just type it in AI, the chat GPT, and it will make up the post for you. I can't remember, Julie. I was like, I don't know if it was you or if it was Heather or something, but it was like so long ago. But I loved that idea of just having the calendar and just going through and putting a different one on every day. They just took their planner and they would go through and put the different ones on there. And I'm like, that was great because if they're going and scheduling stuff out and they're like, okay, well, I'm scheduling stuff out for Monday and it said carnival, like they would just hurry up and go to the site. And it took like 15 minutes. And you're not repeating anything because you're looking at it at a month glance. So Melody said when you use the Chat GPT posts, so I will actually sometimes I will literally put in there the resort and then I'll say, hey, can you highlight in there? I'll put highlight the Riu Palace and Punta Cana on it, and it will literally go through and put different things that the Riu has to offer. But if I don't do that, I will just put like highlight Punta Cana because sometimes I don't want to put the resort in there. So when I put it, I'll just be like, I need a Facebook post for 2 adults, whatever timeline. And I'll just be like, can you highlight things to do around Punta Cana? Or the other day I did one to Bar Harbor, Maine. So I just said, can you put highlight things to do in Bar Harbor, Maine? And so it'll literally just go through all of that for you. It doesn't specifically pick a resort unless you tell it to pick that resort.
Hey, this is me.
Hey.
Mainly what I was wanting to know is like if you post that and then somebody's like, I'm interested, then how do you know like which resort it's talking about to go in and actually give them a quote from?
No, so what I do is I go on Vax and I literally type that information in there and I
Okay.
get the amount from there.
Okay.
So like I go on Vax and I'll type in going out of Atlanta to wherever, Punta Cana, and I'll type in the dates and then I'll get the amount and everything. I'll click whatever resort I want, but I just take the generic information and post it in Chat GPT for
Gotcha.
it to just make a post.
Okay.
So there's
Gotcha.
an actual resort for it, but I just sometimes I don't post it depending on how
Yeah, I never do that.
discreet
I
you want to
never,
be, you know?
yeah, I never post my resorts either.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like every once in a while I will, but most of the time it's just more of a secretive thing, like So
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
yep. I don't know anything about AI. Is there a website? I'm still learning a lot about the computer. Join the ChatGPT is an app that you can put like on your phone. There may be AI programs on the computer, but they're not the ones that I use because most of the time I'm working straight from my phone, so I just download the app. And Jessica said, why don't you post the resort? So one of the things that I don't do is because I want them to message me and ask me questions because that kind of opens the door for me to either go over the resort more with them and kind of figure out what they're wanting. Basically, what you're doing when you post a quote is not necessarily to sell that specific time because most of the time it's going to change. What you're doing is you're kind of opening up the door for them to ask questions like, when do you want to go? How many people do you want to go with? Where do you want to leave out of? Stuff like that. So that's why I don't post the resort specifically. I don't want them going and looking up the resort and post and booking it themselves because they have all the information. They're like, oh, that's great. Let me just go ahead and book it. Like I want them to come to me and for me to kind of fill in all the blanks for them.